everybody. I'm Delegate Plum. Welcome to our show, Virginia Report. Tonight we're going to talk about one of my most favorite community organizations, Herndon-Reston Fish. You all know about Herndon-Reston Fish, as I do, but let's review a little bit with our representatives tonight about what the good work is that they do and how it is that we can all join together to help out. My pleasure to welcome Janet Hyman, President, and Gale Napoliello. Close?
Very well done.
Good. Executive Director, Herndon-Reston Fish. Welcome.
Welcome. Glad to be here.
Herndon-Reston Fish has been around for a while.
Yes, we started back in 1969 when the area was a much smaller area than it is now. And we have grown significantly since that time. We were neighbors helping neighbors, just donating from what was in our house to help somebody who was having a difficult time so they could get by. And we have evolved to where today we have over $500,000 budget, and we are getting funding from many, many sources. And we are able to assist people. And last year we gave out over $230,000 in direct assistance.
Now, Gale, the FISH is both an acronym as well as a symbol.
That's correct. FISH stands for Friendly Instant Sympathetic Help. And the logo is a happy fish with a big heart. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to get that logo recognition out there, and also we appreciate this opportunity to talk about fish with you and your viewers.
Sure. Instant is part of the key to what makes Herndon-Reston Fish special. That's
correct. There are, of course, many other services, county services and nonprofits, but one of our unique attributes is that we're able to provide that assistance, if necessary, within a 24-hour turnaround.
Now, Janet, that's quite an ambitious goal for people who sometimes might appear out hungry, homeless, a myriad of issues.
Yes, frequently we deal with people whose utilities are in danger of being cut off. Mm-hmm. And the reason we use that 24-hour period is so that we can get funding over to the power company or the gas company so that they don't lose their power or gas. Also, we get calls from people who are about to be evicted, and we are able to get funds, and we will patch together our funds with those from other organizations so that we can come up with a sum large enough to cover the arrears in rent and help people not be homeless.
We are fortunate in our community to have a number of different organizations as well as agencies that help in the whole range of human service needs. You coordinate with all of those?
We certainly coordinate with a great many of those. Yeah. There could be some that, are not in our partnership, right. But we work with Reston Interfaith, we work with Graceful Spaces, we work with The Closet, and we see that people that need help get help. We are a part of the safety net. Mm-hmm. We cannot possibly be an entire safety net.
Sure. Well, Gale, talk a little bit about what some examples would be of how that safety net of these multiple organizations work together.
Well, we operate an information and referral service, mm-hmm. and they receive approximately 100 calls a day. And those calls can come in from the county with a client in mind. They can come from other nonprofits or clients themselves. And that information and referral service is staffed by very knowledgeable people who will screen the call and refer them to the appropriate agency, whether it might be another program within a nonprofit or if it's somebody who could benefit from our services.
You're called Herndon-Reston. Is that related to your service? I guess one of the terms we use in community service is catchment area, or is it your primary area of service?
Our primary area of service is our information and referral in the sense that that's where most of our client information comes through. The people who require assistance come through that one venue mostly.
And they're mostly in Herndon-Reston?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're all in Herndon-Reston.
Okay.
Our place is to serve people with a Herndon-Reston zip code.
Sure.
And if they are out of our area and call in, they are referred to the appropriate organization in their area.
Right.
So that's why we get the 100 calls per day, are not all from just Herndon-Reston.
Sure.
But the information service directs non-Herndon-Reston people to their proper agencies. And
Yeah. Now, what are the principal services that you offer? What would be the kind of requests that would come into the information referral line that you would most be able to respond to?
We have mostly, if it's for people who are in financial crisis, it's for assistance with rent, utilities, or sometimes with medications. We might get a call from Reston Hospital, from one of their social workers, about a patient who cannot be released from the hospital until they can purchase certain medications, and they may not be able to afford those medications. So we can help through our information referral service to provide them with the financing for that, and we also sometimes are able to help them apply with a pharmaceutical company that may have a program so that they would receive those medications without cost or at a lowered cost.
Are you doing anything by way of direct service into people who are hungry besides giving money?
well, we have a basket program, and at Thanksgiving and again at the winter holidays, we give out baskets to 300 to 400 families with food in them. In fact, we will be having our food drive this year on October the 27th, and we have the Safeway at Hunters Woods participating, the Fox Mill Giant, and the Franklin Farm Giant.
Okay.
And we will have volunteers from Volunteer Fairfax assisting in the gathering of the foods. We also have a number of local schools that put out big tubs and collect food through the October to November time period.
Sure.
And a good number of businesses also collect. And for the winter holiday baskets, we include a gift for each of the children in the family that's age appropriate. So we collect the gifts unwrapped as well as the food. And we include a $20 gift card in each of the baskets for those families to go and supplement the canned goods and dry food with fresh foods.
Very good. So we should look around late October to start seeing people in our local Safeway or in our place of business or whatever collecting non-perishable food items for fish.
And listeners out there, if they would like to get their organization participating, they can contact us, and we will not turn it away. If we should get too much food, it goes to the Reston Interfaith Food Bank.
Food bank, huh?
So nothing gets wasted.
This is probably a good time to remind people about your website, because the key to finding out about all this stuff is going to the website these days, right?
Yes.
That's right.
It's www.herndon-reston-fish.org. So no punctuation in there other than the www.herndon-reston-fish.org. And that'll get you to the site, and you can find out then how to be a participant contributor as well as a volunteer.
Absolutely.
What kind of volunteer opportunities are available to help out?
We have volunteer opportunities with our bargain loft. We run a thrift store in Herndon,
Okay.
and we have a great group of volunteers there. Some of them have been volunteering since the early 1980s. It's kind of a family environment. It's a lovely little thrift shop. It's very neat and organized, and we provide low-cost items to the community. We also well, we would love to have some volunteers with our grant writing effort.
Sure.
That would be terrific.
Sure.
We could also use volunteers with our program. We provide round-trip rides to medical appointments. We need more drivers for that effort.
Okay.
And can you think of something else, Janet?
No, I just wanted to say, though, that our rides to medical appointments are different than just taking a taxi, because the drivers, if the person wants, actually will go to the appointment with them and then take them back home so
Okay.
that they're accompanied the entire time, which is especially good with some of the frail elderly in our area.
Sure. So persons in need of transportation and moral support as well and going to medical appointments should feel free to make contact with you.
Right, and those rides are also handled through the information and referral service
Okay.
number.
And since we keep talking about information referral, we got to give that number out too, don't we?
That probably would be helpful.
Okay. I'll bet it's 391-0105.
That's correct.
Okay. 703-391-0105 is the key for entering services. Remind me how to get to the thrift shop.
Well, the thrift shop, the way I go, I
Okay.
live in Vienna, but I go Sunset, and I cross over Herndon Parkway.
Sunset Hills.
Right.
Sunset
and
Hills Drive.
That becomes Spring Road.
Right,
And I go down past the Chick-fil-A on my right.
right.
And it's on the left, there are, it's a group of stores with green awnings,
Mm-hmm.
and it's at 336 Victory Drive in Herndon.
Yeah. It's just right past where Sunset Hills goes over the Fairfax Parkway.
Right.
Yeah.
Not too far.
So if you leave in Reston, from Reston Parkway, go west on Sunset Hills Drive, and when you get to about where the Fairfax County Parkway exit is, you're getting close. You're probably within a half a mile. Keep looking on the left for Victory Drive.
Right.
And it's in the group of town, it's in the group with the green awnings, is it not?
That's right.
Yeah, it's in that
Bright
group.
green,
right.
very bright
Very
green.
bright
Can't
green
miss
awnings
them.
on the left, and they're white buildings, so it's pretty stark, it's pretty obvious. And you do have a variety of things.
We sure do.
Yeah. Now, you can go there and buy stuff, and of course that money ends up back in the pot that provides the gift certificates for the perishable food at holiday time, as well as your other program support. But you also take contributions of items, do you not?
Yes, we do. We take individual contributions, and those contributions can be made online.
Yeah. But in terms of the thrift shop,
Oh,
yeah, items in the thrift shop.
sorry, yes, we do.
Yeah.
We take furniture, as long as it's not upholstered.
Okay.
And household items, we have paintings in there, knickknacks,
Jewelry,
Jewelry.
books, and we also have a women's clothing.
Oh, okay.
So that better end women's clothing,
Okay.
that people would like to help their closet have a little more space.
Sure.
We sell that, and we even have some of our members that have found things to wear fling.
Sure.
In the racks there.
Sure.
So, and all of the money, as you said, does go into our assistance fund.
Right.
And we get, a good bit of money from the sales of the things at the bargain loft.
Mm-hmm. The thing to keep in mind is that it needs to be a usable product. We don't need just junk.
No, that's
And we want those clothes to come in clean, and we want them to be high-end so that people be interested in buying them. And knickknacks that you have lost interest in, but somebody else might be interested in, something that would be saleable, ends up on the shelves there.
Right.
And people make choices. And then all the folks who work in there are volunteers.
We do have 2 individuals who are managers
Okay.
there that are, one or the other of them is in each day. We have found that the store operates much more effectively with
Continuation.
somebody with knowledge about managing and the continuity that provides. And the contributions that we do take, furniture-wise, they need to be in good condition. This
Right.
is, but if things come and they're not useful in our facility, we refer them either to the closet or to Salvation Army, or Goodwill, so that they can be of use to other people.
Right. Yeah, the difference I would suggest in part of your thrift shop versus contributions of items to some other places is that you are looking for items that are saleable,
Right.
and other places might be just simply looking for items that are useful that could be given directly to someone.
That's right.
And so the key to it is that it be saleable and furniture not be upholstered.
Right, well, that's the health laws
life law,
prevent
right.
us from reselling upholstered furniture or
Exactly.
mattresses.
Exactly. Okay, great. Now, that's not the only way you make money, though, because you have something called a fish fling that I've been happy to attend many years in a row. And tell us about the fling.
Well, the most important thing is it will be on April the 20th this year, and it is a lovely seated dinner with dancing. We introduced a live band last year, and their dance floor stayed busy most of the evening. We have auction items that we collect throughout the year, and we bring in, profit-wise, somewhere in the 50,000 up to 60,000. We have been looking for that to keep growing, and each year we're looking to see that the number gets bigger. It's a fun evening, and we really welcome people. It'll be held at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Herndon, and they are very generous with us in terms of what they charge us so that we can keep our profitability up.
Remind me again now, it's April when? April?
April 20th, just after Income Tax Day.
April 20th, and that's 2013. And that Crown Plaza Hotel is on Eldon Street, right where Eldon Street and the Dulles Toll Road intersect. It's right at that corner, across from World Gate.
Yes, it is.
Across from World Gate. And it's a lovely evening. It's hard to describe the numerous activities you have going on in the evening because it is quite a fun-filled, activity-packed evening. Not only do you get dinner, you can dance to a live band, but then you have a number of other activities that
Well, we
make
have
for a fun
games,
evening.
and last year we added in some table games, which were
Oh,
very
okay.
popular.
Not gambling games, certainly.
Well, it was done in accordance with how one does that, where they were having fun. Nobody made
Exactly.
money off of it other than the organization.
Exactly.
So people purchase tickets just as they purchase a ticket for a beanbag toss.
Sure.
But they had a lot of fun playing poker, or we had a Wheel of Fortune, and
Yeah.
so we may do more of that this coming year.
Good.
That seemed to be very popular.
Very popular. And ultimately, we recognize that the money is not really profit. It really is the money, operating money necessary to be able to respond to someone who can't pay their rent, somebody whose electricity is about to be cut off, those kind of things for which we need immediate help.
Yes, we, in this past year, distributed over $230,000 in direct assistance funds to individuals in our communities. And those funds come from the things we've been talking about, as well as from grants that we get. And Fairfax County also gives us money to operate the information and referral service, and they contribute some to our assistance pool.
Gale, you mentioned also that you could use some help writing grants. Talk a little bit about what those would be.
Well, I work closely with the grant committee, and we have to apply for grants as a source of income for our assistants. And we have received grants from the Giving Circle of Hope and Fairfax County, and also the United Way. So you have to apply for those grants, and it's a very detailed process, and you have to adhere to the exact requirements.
Sure.
And then once, if you're lucky enough to get that grant, that has interim reports that are due. So it's always helpful to have somebody who can volunteer to do that and will pay attention to detail and follow it through, and it's a great source of revenue for us.
And obviously in this country, in this area, because we have so many people involved in contracting and so on, which is not unlike grant writing, we're bound to have some people in the area who do that sort of thing for a living.
That's right.
That could help out. Sure.
Right.
Sure. Have we covered the principal ways in which you raise your money? The fish fling, the
Well,
thrift
individual
shop,
donations.
and just individual donations
Right.
throughout the year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that's back again to the website as a way to do that. And can you make your contribution on the site?
You can, or you can simply mail a check to the Victory Drive address,
Okay.
and it gets into the pool of money that we can distribute.
What's been the experience over the last few years? Are the demands for your services increasing, or what's happening?
Yes, they have been increasing, and interestingly, our clientele, where it used to be people who just chronically had problems with making their money work, now we're finding that there are people who have been among the employed, but they've had an illness come on, or had some kind of disaster in their family. Recently, there was someone who lost all of her food because of the derecho and the power outage. And so normally she could cover her rent with little difficulty, but since she had to replace the full range of food in her freezer and refrigerator, she did not have money, and so Fish was able to make a contribution so that she was able to continue with her rent. And so there can be extreme situations like that. And, you know, many of the people who have come to be our volunteers were at some point in the past recipients of help from us of
Okay.
one sort or another.
So in some regards, they kind of pay back by volunteering.
Right,
to
and
help
then
out.
there's one thing we haven't mentioned, our financial workshop.
Okay.
People who do receive money from us are required to attend a financial workshop, which is held the first Wednesday of each month,
Okay.
before they can come back for a second time to apply
Okay.
for help.
Okay. So we want to make sure in that instance that people know how to manage these dollars. They're
I
making
wanted
good
to add
decisions.
also to what Janet said, we offer it in Spanish as well, once a quarter.
Oh, wonderful.
And we do that in partnership with Reston Interfaith.
Yeah.
And those classes are held locally, obviously, in Herndon-Reston.
Yeah, they are currently in an office building near Lake Ann Plaza. We may be moving them into a somewhat larger space because
Sure.
they have been very well attended.
Sure.
And we have people wanting to come back to hear more.
Interesting.
So Don Owens is the person who leads the English classes.
Yeah.
And Vivica Fuenzalida does the Spanish class. And they're very popular, and people are finding it very helpful to manage their finances in a way that they don't have to keep having problems.
Sure. Some people are down on their luck, but sometimes it's a matter of management, and if you can kind of help work that out at the same time.
Right. We also track these people at the 6-month interval and then at the 1-year interval.
Oh.
And I was reading one of the recent reports about a mom who she's, after taking the class, decided she was no longer taking her children to the grocery store. She has 5 kids.
Oh.
And she found that really has helped her with her expenditures when she goes to the
Sure.
grocery store.
Yeah, not having 6 opinions about what we should buy.
Right,
is
right.
When somebody's in charge.
Right.
Yeah. The unemployment rate, no doubt, has also contributed to your need.
Yes,
has.
yeah, individuals that have been laid off.
Yeah.
We recently had a father who had been working for 15 years and was laid off, and he has a child with disabilities. And he's a single parent, and Fish was able to help him pay his rent and get
Yeah.
him kind of back on his feet.
Yeah, exactly. What's the future for Fish?
Well, we are looking forward to continuing to help people. Those of us who volunteer find it a really worthwhile thing. Reading and hearing about some of the situations where people have been helped is very stimulating. Now, we do not know who the individuals were when it's reported out to us from the information service.
Right.
All of the identifying data is confidential,
Sure.
so we will know that it was a father with a disabled child, but
Right.
who that is not known, and we don't need to know that.
Exactly.
And we also don't hand the funds directly to the individuals. If the power bill needs to be paid, Dominion, Virginia gets the check from us for paying the power. If somebody needs gasoline so that they can get to a job interview, the gas station bills Fish, and we pay the gas station.
Right.
So that's one of the ways we are sure that our money is going for exactly what we mean it to go for.
Janet and Gale, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you very much for your discussion tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, Herndon-Reston Fish has been doing good work in our community for a long time, but they can't do it without our help. So what I'd like you to do, please, is check out the website, www.herndonrestonfish.org, and you can find ways that you can make a direct monetary contribution or ways that you can also be of assistance as a volunteer. But also, too, if you know people in your community who need to go to a medical appointment and don't have a way to get there, people who are down on their luck and need help with their utility bills or maybe a grocery need or two, or during the holiday seasons for Thanksgiving or other holidays, the happy holiday seasons, you can call 703 or have them call 703-391-0105. That's the information referral number. Herndon-Reston Fish, thank you, ladies, and bless you for the good work you do in our community.
Well, thank you, Ken. We appreciate your work.
Thank you for joining us on Virginia Report tonight, and I hope you'll join us next week at the same time. Good night.